Families gathered around televisions. Radios crackled with static. More than 600 million people, past 1/5 of the world's population at the time, waited to witness something no human had ever done before. That night, humanity would step onto another world. This is the full story of the moon landing, from its beginnings in fear and rivalry to the moment a human footprint was pressed into lunar dust, changing history forever. The story of the moon landing didn't begin with rockets or astronauts. It began with fear. In 1957, the Soviet Union shocked the world by launching Sputnik, the first artificial satellite into space. The small beeping sphere orbiting Earth sent a clear message. The Soviets were ahead. For the United States, this was more than a scientific embarrassment. It was a threat. If the Soviets could launch satellites, they could launch nuclear weapons. The Cold War had moved into space. In response, the U.S. created NASA in 1958. But it wasn't until May 1961, after Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space, that America made its boldest decision. President John F. Kennedy stood before Congress and declared, "We choose to go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard." The goal was clear: land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade was over. At the time Kennedy made that promise, the United States had barely sent a human into space. NASA began with the Mercury program, which proved that humans could survive in space. Then came Gemini, where astronauts learned how to maneuver spacecraft, dock in orbit, and survive longer missions. Every flight was dangerous. Rockets exploded. Capsules malfunctioned. Mistakes were paid for with lives. In 1967, tragedy struck when a fire during a ground test killed 3 astronauts aboard Apollo 1. The program was paused, redesigned, and questioned by the public. But NASA pressed on, because failure was no longer an option. To reach the moon, NASA needed the most powerful machine ever built. That machine was the Saturn V rocket. Standing 363 feet tall, it was taller than the Statue of Liberty and generated more power than anything humanity had ever created. Each launch burned thousands of tons of fuel in minutes. Engineers also had to design a spacecraft capable of traveling nearly 500,000 miles, surviving space, landing on an alien surface, and returning home. The solution was the Apollo spacecraft, made of 3 parts: the command module, where astronauts lived; the service module, carrying fuel and supplies; the lunar module, a fragile spider-like craft designed only to land on the moon. Nothing like this had ever been attempted. Apollo 11 launches. On the morning of July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 stood on Launch Pad 39A in Florida. Inside were 3 astronauts. At 9:32 a.m., The Saturn V ignited. The ground shook. Windows rattled. The rocket slowly rose into the sky, carrying humanity's hopes with it. After reaching Earth orbit, Apollo 11 was sent on a 3-day journey toward the moon. For the first time, humans were leaving Earth behind. 5. Journey through space. The trip to the moon was quiet, but tense. The astronauts checked systems, ate meals, and gazed back at Earth, now a fragile blue sphere hanging in darkness. Michael Collins remained in the command module, while Armstrong and Aldrin prepared the lunar module for descent. As they approached the moon, Apollo 11 entered lunar orbit. Then came the most dangerous moment of the mission. The descent. On July 20th, Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module, named Eagle, and separated from Collins. As Eagle descended toward the moon's surface, alarms began to sound. The onboard computer was overloaded. Fuel was running dangerously low. Worst of all, the landing site was covered in boulders. With less than 30 seconds of fuel remaining, Neil Armstrong took manual control, flying Eagle past the rocks and searching for a safe place to land. Then came the words Mission Control had been waiting for. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Cheers erupted across NASA. The impossible had just become reality. 6 hours later, Neil Armstrong opened the hatch. He climbed down the ladder and placed his left foot onto the moon's surface. His words would echo through history. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Buzz Aldrin joined him, describing the surface as magnificent desolation. For 2.5 hours, the astronauts explored the moon. They collected rock samples, set up scientific experiments, and planted the American flag. They also left behind a plaque reading, "We came in peace for all mankind." Meanwhile, Michael Collins orbited alone above, the most isolated human in history. After completing their mission, Armstrong and Aldrin lifted off from the moon's surface and reunited with Collins. Apollo 11 began its journey back to Earth. On July 24, 1969, the capsule re-entered Earth's atmosphere and splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The astronauts were immediately placed in quarantine as scientists feared possible lunar microbes. After weeks of testing, the crew was declared healthy and the world celebrated. 9. Why the moon landing matters. The moon landing was more than a political victory. It proved what humans could achieve through science, cooperation, and determination. The technology developed for Apollo led to advances in, for the first time, humanity saw Earth from afar, not as divided nations, but as one small planet in a vast universe. 10. The legacy lives on. Apollo 11 was just the beginning. 5 more missions landed on the moon,
and 12 humans walked its surface. Today, new missions aim to return, this time to stay. The footprints left in lunar dust in 1969 remain untouched, preserved in silence, reminding us of what is possible when humanity dares to dream. Because once, against impossible odds, we looked up at the moon and went there.